Moments of joy are so incredibly precious. We don't realize how wonderful they are, because when you are in ananda, when you are in complete bliss, when you are in joy, you completely come into the moment. And the more you are happy, the more you are at peace, the more you are in joy, the more you are connected to the source, the more you are connected to the world around you, the more all of this spreads. It's just like a perfume that spreads more and more and more. Life has just gotten so complicated. Depression and misery has become commonplace, and it's mainly because people have everything and now they're looking for something to be sad about, because sad things, negative things, these things are so much more interesting, so much more interesting. They make you the topic of conversation. I am happy, but I have everything, but this continuous feeling of lack makes life so interesting. It makes for great conversations. And biggest conversation you have is with your mind. Functioning from an area of lack. I'm scared about the future. I don't know what life is going to be like. I don't know how I'm going to find, a future for myself. Will I have my house? Will this house crumble and become dust? Will I lose all my money? So many fears, so many anxieties that are not at all important. Nobody understands. Everybody wants to be happy. On the cover of my book, that's what the Dalai Lama has said. His comment is just that. Everybody wants to be happy, but they just don't know how. Happiness doesn't lie in anything that you own, in anything that you have, obviously. Because if it was in things that you own, then every wealthy man would be deliriously happy. But is that the case? Is that the case? No. Nothing you have can make you happier than you are. Your happiness, that nature, when you are happy, then when you eat that strawberry, that gives you you say that it's the strawberry that made me happy, but no. It is your own inner happiness. You were happy first, and then came the strawberry. And you took joy in something that's natural, that's in nature, in a taste or in something else. But had you been in a mood where your cat had just scratched you, and you put that strawberry in your mouth and it was slightly bitter, it is terrible strawberry. My God, I always get these terrible, miserable strawberries in my mouth. Happiness is your birthright. This is who you are. This is your nature. As soon as you start wanting things from the world to make you happy, you're a gone case. It's finished. You cannot be happy in any moment in the future. This is why that talk that I gave in the few weeks ago about the eternal now. The only time for happiness is right now. It is right now. And I keep saying this. I think for 5 years, I don't believe I have given any other message other than happiness is your birthright. Happiness is your birthright. I keep hammering it in. In the hope that people will understand that when I say that happiness is your birthright, I don't mean as soon as you buy your Tesla, you'll be happy. That is, you're going to have a smile on your face. Sure, if you are happy, if you participate in your life, doing all the things you love, and you with enthusiasm and joy, you do whatever you have to do, well, maybe the Tesla will come, and then it's so much sweeter. It's like tasting a strawberry. It is so sweet then, because it comes to you unsought. You're not running after it, you're not seeking it, you're not looking for it. And it only comes when you stop looking at life with a feeling of lack. I don't have this. I don't have money. I don't have a house. I don't have an apartment. I'm not married. I don't have a child. I don't have this. To only search for that part of your life that's not going well, that's what takes the joy away. And for some, it is a chemical imbalance. I'm not going to deny it. I cannot say 100% that I can talk for every human being on earth. I cannot. In a normal state, with everything going well, with a body, with this incredible body working at its peak efficiency, things can go well. But I can tell you that even one day of a headache sets you back, makes you see life as not so good, because you're not able to enjoy it with good health. And it requires effort to say, the headache is there, I'm observing it, it is in my body, but I'm okay. Me, the eternal me, the ultimate consciousness, I am fine. Me, I, that sees this headache in this body is fine. That is the training. That is the training. But for people that are put in miserable situations, that have to face a lot of suffering, the pain and the trauma that comes from that is overwhelming. I once spoke, when I was doing the research for my book, I spoke to one of the young men that was sent by Art of Living to a country called Togo. And Togo is one of those countries where the people there, for generations, their people had been taken as slaves, not only for neighboring country, but also to be sent to Brazil and South America and all those countries. There is so much of the government treating them so badly, and the women are treated so miserably by their husbands. He was saying their eyes are dead. There is no life. You see them, they are alive, but there is nothing in their eyes. He says one time you teach them the breathing, one course they take in the breathing, and something jump starts inside of them. Something comes alive inside. Because that years of accumulated trauma breaks through, and you get that little sunshine, it's like a filthy window, and you do that breathing and you do that meditation, something comes through. And people, sometimes I've seen that in big courses where people are sobbing with the release of the grief and the release of the pain. We don't have such lives. We have lives that are very comfortable. Our problem is when there's no Oatly milk available on the shelf, right? Or, the price of something has gone from $4 to $5. We don't have the pain of being in a war, for example, as a refugee, running away, or being, in the midst of narcotraficantes or whatever in Mexico. We don't even know what it's like to be in those situations. Because when you are in a very painful situation, and you are there, and you are there, and you are there, your serotonin at some point stops flowing in your blood. And when that happens, it's a chemical imbalance. And unless you provide that serotonin to the body for a period of time, it's not going to reverse. However, these medicines have such an effect on your body, you want to be free of them, but not all of us can. That is a reality. Some people do require medication to right the balance, and once that is corrected, that's it. They can see the sun shining bright, the colors look brighter, everything looks better. So you do have both kinds, and that has to be recognized. Depression and misery is a modern day disease. It's a modern day disease that we battle with. We see it around us. And it is very hard to watch a person you love struggle with depression. Because you know that life is beautiful. You know that everything is good, that the sun is shining, that you're alive. But you are in a normal state of consciousness. Try telling them. I once went and tried to talk to a group or tried to do meditation with a group of drug rehab people. They're altered. They're in another place altogether. What you say doesn't even reach them. Doesn't even reach them. And I told them, I said, I'd love to come. I enjoy, being paid for what I do. It's very nice, but it's a waste of my time. I can reach them a year from now when all these drugs are out of their system and they're ready to live life and to make choices and to make better choices. Then they'll perhaps hear me. But there is the knowledge, there is the sadhana, the breathing, the meditation, the knowledge. And at the end of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna will say, don't share this with everyone. This is not for everybody. This knowledge is only for those who are ready to receive. So if you are here and you are listening to me and you're listening to this video, you are already on the path and you're ready to receive. Enlightenment is something that happens in the flick of an eye. It is a dropping of the mind. It is tasting that strawberry and being absorbed in the pure ananda of that moment, the joy of that moment. That is why Anandamaya Kosha, that is the highest type of enjoyment. That's what they call to reach bliss. And that bliss is available in small miracles throughout your day. Don't wait for that big thing to happen, for you to become a great success, or for your child to be married, or for your, it's always another thing that's going to come. Don't postpone that happiness for another moment, because there is no other moment. This is it. This is it. There is only love. There is only joy. Be careful what you think and what you say and what you do, because it spoils the moment. Your journey is your responsibility. Everybody else has their own destiny. It's a sad thing, but it's the truth. That including your children. Including your children. Your children are not your responsibility. Don't take on their happiness. That is up to them. Give them the knowledge. Give them the tools. Teach them to meditate. Teach them the breathing. You cannot teach them to be happy. Nor can you be happy and sad every time they are happy or sad. The only thing you can do is to send the energy out. In your heart, have a vision of that person that you love being perfectly content, perfectly happy, perfectly joyful, perfectly at peace. In other words, Godified, in other words, locked in the moment. This moment is when you are closest to God, closest to the divine, closest to eternal consciousness, whatever you want to call it. Every bit of happiness cannot lie in another moment because other moments don't exist. Those that postpone happiness are deluded because they think there's a future. They think that when I have a house, I'll be happy. When I'm married, I'll be happy. When I have children, I'll be happy. Really? If you're not happy now, what is the chance that when you have the child, you're going to be happy? You're going to say, when my child is behaved better, I'll be happy. When he's 1 year old, I'll be happy. When he goes to school, I'll be happy. You're postponing it. And what's happening? Life is just passing by. It is sad when you see people so sad, so miserable, so angry. I see people angry these days, so angry. Shouting and screaming on an airplane, because they have to wait a few minutes. Shouting and screaming in queues. So angry. It's the same thing, whether you're sad, whether you're shouting. It's all the same, no? You're moving away from who you are. And your past can be anything. Your future can be anything. But this moment, happiness is your birthright. Happiness is your birthright. Get back to it. Get back to it as much as you can. And your awakening and their awakening is all grace. Whose grace? I don't know. God's grace, divine grace, what do you want to call it? Whatever it is. For you to wake up, that's grace. And if it's in your destiny, it'll come. If it's not, nothing you can do. Nothing you can do. Om Namah Shivaya.